Welcome back to the CompTIA A Plus 1101 and 1102 review question series. In this video, I'll be going over review questions in chapter 22, which is the last chapter that is covered on the textbook. This chapter covers documentation and professionalism. Alright, let's get started. Question number 1 says, you just finished repairing a network connection, and in the process, you trace several network connections. Which type of documentation should you create so that another technician does not need to repeat the task of tracing connections? A. Logical diagram. B. Knowledge base article. C. Change management document. D. Physical diagram. The answer here is D. Physical diagram. A physical network diagram details all connections so that the next technician does not need to trace connections. A logical network diagram shows the flow of information. A knowledge-based article documents a symptom and solution for a problem, but not the connections. A change management document is used to evaluate a potential change to the network. Question number 2. You are executing the primary plan in the change documentation and realize that you cannot proceed. Which section details the original configuration? A. Purpose. B. Risk analysis. C. Rollback. D. Plan for change. The answer here is C. Rollback. So the rollback section contains the original configuration that can be used to revert the changes. Question number 3. Which section of the change management documentation contains whom the change will affect? A. Business processes. B. Scope of change. C. User acceptance. D. Plan for change. The answer here is B. Scope of change. So, scope of change section details whom the change will affect. The business processes section details the current business processes the change will affect. The user acceptance change details how the changes were tested and accepted by the users. And the plan for change contains the primary and alternate plans for the proposed change. Question number 4. You had just had an outage of internet connectivity. Which document should you complete so that the stakeholders understand the reason for the outage? A. Change management documentation. B. Knowledge base article. C. Acceptable use policy. D. Incident documentation. The answer here is D. Incident documentation. So this will be a type of document where you report the incident that happened. Question number 5. Which regulation is enforced by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to regulate financial records instead of sensitive financial information? A. SOX. B. FERPA. C. HIPAA. D. GLBA. The answer here is A. SOX or SOX. So this enforces the Security and Exchange Commission and regulates sensitive financial information and financial records. Question number 6. You are currently troubleshooting a network issue. Which type of diagram allows you to view the flow of information from a high-level overview. Choose the best answer. A. Logical. B. Physical. C. Symbol. D. Knowledge-based article. The answer here is A. Logical diagram. So logical diagram is a high-level overview of a system so that you can see the flow of information. Question number 7. End users are abusing the email system by selling personal items. Which policy would detail the proper use of the email system for business purposes? A. MDM. B. Password policy. C. AUP. D. Incident management. The answer here is AUP, which stands for Acceptable Use Policy. Question number 8. Which backup media is the fastest from which to recover? A. Disk to tape. B. Disk to disk. C. Disk to flash. D. Disk to cloud. The answer here is B. Disk to disk. So this would be the fastest recovery method and backup method because you're backing up from a disk to another disk attached via the network. 9. You need to upgrade a server and want to make a backup of the data before you begin. Which backup method should you choose so that your normal backups are not affected? A. Full. B. Copy. C. Incremental. D. Differential. The answer here is B. Copy. You should use the copy backup method, since it will perform a full backup of the files without resetting the archive bits. A full backup makes a full backup and resets the archive bits, affecting the normal backups. Incremental backup copies only the files that have changed since the last backup and leaves the archive bits unchanged. A differential backup backs up only the files that have changed since the last backup and then resets all the archive bits. Question number 10. Which type of power protection is used between the electricity coming into the premises and the power meter to protect from surges in electricity? A. Surge protector strip. B. Uninterruptible power supply. C. Service entrance surge protection. And D. Generator. The answer here is C. Service entrance surge protection. So this is used between the power meter and the main breakers to protect from electrical surges. Question number 11. You promise a customer that you'll be out to service their problem before the end of the day, but you have been tied up at another site. As it now becomes apparent that you will not be able to make it, what should you do? A. Arrive first thing in the morning. B. Wait until after hours and then leave a message that you were there. C. Call the customer, inform them of the situation. D. Email the customer to let them know that you'll be late. The answer here is C. Call the customer and inform them of the situation. So calling the customer and informing them of the situation is the best action that can be performed, since you're having direct communication. This will be the best bet, best thing to do when you have an issue like this. You have to communicate with your customer, staff, or end user on what your situation is and what what you can do in order to help them out, so they can be in the loop of things. Question number 12. A user reports that a workstation has two significant problems that do not seem related. How should you approach these problems? A. Look for what the two problems will have in common. B. Assume that a bias is involved. D. Deal with each issue separately. D. Order a new machine. The answer here is C. Deal with each issue separately. So if the issues are not related, then of course deal with them separately. Question number 13. A customer is trying to explain a problem with their system. Unfortunately, the customer has such a thick accent that you are unable to understand their problem. What should you do? Choose the best answer. A. Just start working on the system and look for obvious errors. B. Call your supervisor. C. Ask that another technician be sent in your place. D. Apologize and find another user or manager who can help you translate. This would be C. Apologize and find another user or manager who can help you translate. If you don't understand the customer, you should apologize and treat the customer with respect and seek a manager to help translate. This will help 1. Solving the issue, and 2. Communicating with the user. Question number 14. You have been trying to troubleshoot a user system all day when it suddenly becomes clear that the data is lost, basically. When you inform the customer, they become so angry that they shove you against a wall. What should you do? A. Shove the user back only a little harder than they shoved you. B. Shove the user back only a little easier than they shoved you. C. Try to calm down the user. D. Yell for everyone in the area to come quickly. The answer here is C. Try to calm the user down. That'll be the best thing to do because you don't want to start any problems or just elevate the issue or just make the user angrier. Question number 15. A customer tells you that a technician from your company spent 3 hours on the phone making personal calls. What should you do with this information? A. Nothing. B. Inform your manager. C. Talk to the technician personally. D. Ask the customer to prove it. The answer here is B. Inform your manager. Let your manager know what's going on, just in case there's any further issues down the line. Question number 16. You arrive at the site of a failed server to find the vice president nervously pacing and worrying about the lost data. What should you do? A. Offer a joke to lighten things up. D. Downplay the situation, tell them the customers lose data every day. C. Keep your head down and keep looking at manuals to let them know that you're serious. D. Inform them that you're dealt with similar situations and will let him know what needs to be done as soon as possible. The answer here is D. Reassure the vice president that you're optimistic and skilled to deal with these problems. Question number 17. You are temporarily filing in on a phone support when a caller tells you that they're sick and tired of being bounced from one whole queue to another. They want their problem fixed and they want it fixed now. What should you do? A. Inform them up front that you're only filling in temporarily and won't be much help. B. Transfer them to another technician who handles phone calls more often. C. Try to solve their problem without putting them on hold or transferring them elsewhere. D. Suggests that they call back at another time when you're not there. The answer here is C. It will, of course, try to solve their problem without putting them on hold or transferring them elsewhere. This will only make them angrier, and of course, it will put you in the wrong spot because they're reaching out to you and they're really concerned that their issue hasn't been solved. So you'll do your best to solve their problem without, of course, transferring them. Question number 18. At the end of the day, you finish a job only to find that the user you were doing it had to leave. What should you do? Choose 2. A. Clean up and leave no evidence that you were there. B. Leave a note for the user detailing what was done and how to contact you. C. Notify the user's manager and your own manager that you have finished. D. Put the system back to its original state. The answers here are B and C. You can leave a note and of course notify the user's manager and your own manager that you have finished. So leaving a note for the user detailing what was done and how to contact you displays appropriate communications. Question number 19. A user on the phone does not seem to be able to explain their problem to you without using profanity. The profanity is making you unable to understand their problem. What should you do? A. Ask the user to refrain from the offensive language. B. Overlook the profanity. C. Hang up. D. Show them that you know just many expletives as they do. The answer here is A. Ask them to refrain from using the offensive language. Question number 20. Which of the following is not a benefit of implementing asset tags for inventory management? A. Tracking of the equipment. B. Scheduling the depreciation of the equipment. C. Identifying assets. D. Providing ownership of the equipment. The answer here is B. Scheduling the depreciation of the equipment. So tracking of the equipment is a benefit to an asset tag. Identifying assets is a direct benefit of asset tags. An asset tag provides proof of ownership. Alright guys, this is the last question of this video. And of course, like I said in the beginning, this is the last video of the series. I thank you guys for watching. Of course, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and a comment down below with any questions or concerns. Thank you very much.